Hi everyone, and welcome back to Abide, where we are currently journeying through the miracles of Jesus. And there is so much for us to learn about these miracles of Jesus, so much that we can take today away from these miracles. Not only have we learned so far about Jesus' power to heal and to save and to provide, but these miracles reveal to us his character, his great love for us, his power and his authority. And the good news is, nothing has changed. He is still the same today, yesterday and forevermore. Isn't that encouraging news? He is still the miracle worker. So today we're going to return to another healing miracle. And I wonder if you, as you tune in today, are you in need of a miracle? Perhaps you've been struggling and battling with something for many, many years. It's maybe not even related to this current crisis, that what you've gone through for many years, and you feel tired and exhausted and weary battling through it. Well, there was a man in the Bible in John chapter 5, in the Gospel of John, and he knew all about struggling and battling. He had been struggling for 38 years. 38 years this man had had a disability, and he found himself at the pool of Bethesda. Now, the pool of Bethesda was in Jerusalem. The pool provided water for the temple, but it also acted as a healing pool for those who believed that the pool contained healing properties. And they would come and they would lie at the pool, which was near the sheep gate, and it was surrounded by 5 colonnades which would act as shade, as cover for those that would lie underneath the shade, desperately wanting to get into that pool and be healed. You know, in the 19th century, archaeologists actually discovered a pool which sounded very much like this one. Now, the name of the pool is said to have derived from the Hebrew and Aramaic language and can be broken down into 2. Beth, meaning house of mercy, and Hesda, which means shame and disgrace. This dual meaning is quite appropriate, since this location was a place of shame and disgrace because of the people who were carrying a disability. For in those days, quite often a disability was seen as something to be quite ashamed of. But it was also a place of mercy, as it was a place where they found healing from their condition, or thought to have healing from their condition. See, sickness in those days was quite often associated with shame. If someone was blind or had a disability or was lame, people would ask, who sinned? Horrendous, I know. Can you imagine? Not only is it hard enough that you're battling with something, you're struggling with something, you're carrying a sickness or an illness, but you have to live in shame. And you, not only you, but your family are living in shame. And quite often, if the family didn't want to live with that shame, then they would cast out that family member. And quite often they would live as an outcast and on the outskirts of society. So this was a place, this pool was a place where people would come in search of healing. I don't understand why they thought that this H2O had the power to heal them. However, they believed in a legend. They believed in the legend that an angel would come, and it's described in the chapters of the book of John, and an angel would come and an angel would stir up the waters, would trouble the waters, it says. And they believed that the first person to step into the water after the troubling or the stirring of the water, that person would be healed. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds crazy. This sounds a bit superstitious, but many people today are turning to new age philosophies and healing self-help books in search and desperation to find healing from whatever ailment or problem or struggle that they have in life. It was superstition, basically. But just think about how miserable that place must have been as you wait for that angel to stir up the waters, knowing that you've got one chance. Now, we think there's chaos in the supermarkets during this pandemic when everyone was fighting for toilet roll. Can you imagine what this was like when news had travelled that the angel had stirred the water and you had a chance to get in that pool? Pretty hectic. And here was this man, and he lay by the pool on his mat, but he was disabled and he couldn't get into the water. Think about what life was like for him. Desperate, alone, afraid. And maybe right now that's how you feel. You're alone and afraid. Perhaps you've been battling with an emotional condition like anxiety or depression, and maybe your family don't understand you either. Maybe you've tried to explain to them what's going on the inside, but because it's not a physical ailment, you're finding it difficult to express just exactly what's going on in your heart and what's going on in your mind. But you're still hurting and no one seems to understand you. So this pool, people came in hope that someday that they may be healed. And this man was there and he wanted to be healed. He believed that he could be healed just by getting into that water. But here's the thing, he couldn't get there. And Jesus comes to the man. Now he doesn't know Jesus. He's never met Jesus before. But Jesus asks him, do you want to be healed? Strange question. Is that not why he's there? Of course he wants to be healed. He asks you the same question. Do you want to be well? Is it time now to give it up? Is it time now to let go? Is it time now to have the courage to hand it over to Jesus? He's asking you the same question today. And he says to Jesus, yes, of course I want to be healed. And Jesus says, pick up your mat. And this man was instantly healed. I wonder, as you listen today, as you listen to this familiar story, do you carry a deep, deep hurt? Do you carry a physical or emotional pain? Are you carrying sickness in your body? And it's just become a way of life for you? Well, can I encourage you today? You don't need to wait around a pool for that one opportunity that you might never get because there's so many other people there. You don't need to rush to the pool to bathe in the H2O just to be healed. You can come to Jesus. You can bring your concerns to Jesus. In fact, you don't need to go anywhere. All you need to say is, Jesus, I need you. Jesus, I want you. And bring to him, maybe for the first time in your life, bring to him, have a conversation with him. He is waiting to speak to you. He is waiting with a heart full of love for you. Just one touch from Jesus is all it takes. So come to Jesus and allow the miracle worker to touch your heart, to touch your mind, to transform your life. Until next time, God bless.